Okay, CSS battle time, and it's a lot of fun. I'm kind of bummed I missed these 2 days, but I was camping with family, so they looked fun though, but I was doing more important things. Anyways, I'm back, and we have quite the mess. Part of me almost wants to do, it looks like opacity type deals going on. And it looks really cool, but it is actually, what, 4 different colors? 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors. So the white bar, this what I'm seeing is a box here, right? And then I'm seeing a bar of one color come down here, a bar of another color come down here, and then this being a box on top. That would be the easiest way to go about this. Oh wait, my eyes are tricking me. These little boxes right here are different colors. This and then this are the same color, I bet, because otherwise it'd be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's our 4th color. Oh, that is a mind trick right there. That is fun. Okay, new plan. Okay, so I could do. Okay, so this and that are, boy, are the same color. I don't want to be writing the same background color for multiple elements unless I can get it to cascade properly. And with how they're removed, I don't know if I can. We might do a border dashed and then play with the thickness so that we get it to wrap around here, but then leave a gap in the middle so that we get this background color for like the HTML element, because that would give us the white for it. And then if we did it that way, we could. No, that won't work. I was thinking of doing linear gradient, but it wouldn't. We wouldn't be able to get that carry. So it's really just these 2 boxes right here are the biggest hiccup on this. Okay. I can't necessarily do a box shadow with a shorter radius to get this done. There's a lot of layers this way too. Okay. How about this? I can pretty much do the same gradient going across the screen, I think. Except on this inner box, it's going to be this darker color for this color stop. So we can do white, this color, that color, and then white. And this other color stop, okay, that works. We can do this light blue, darker blue, that one, light blue. The distances might not work, like the pixel values on them. Oh, actually, they will. They will work. I will just have to adjust where the okay, let's I think that gradient trick will work. So the outer gradient is going to be our HTML element, and then that inner box is going to be our body, and then we'll have one p tag to be the white bar on top. So Let's hit, actually, let's do the ampersand for the moment. I'll change it to a star selector, but I don't want the body's margin blocking our view of what our gradient looks like just yet. So I need it to be this. So it's going to be that white color. I wish I didn't have to declare it, but I think I do, because the default background, oh, I need to do background first and then do the gradient function. Okay, 90 degrees, and we're doing white, so FFF. You don't have to do all 6 for the hex code when it's the same ones. You can just do 3, and it gets doubled automatically by default. So we're going to do 100 pixels. We're just going to start with just some color stops here to get the right colors. Now it's, which blue is it? It's this blue, right? And we're going to hit 0, 150 pixels, right? And then we're going to hit this dark blue, and we're going to hit 0 and 200 pixels. Yeah, way too small, but we can start stepping these gradients, these values up in just a moment. And then we're back to white. 0. Okay, good. All right, let's get the edge of this dark blue set first, and it needs to go up quite a ways, not quite 380. There, that one's set. Now we can walk up the lower one and then bring up the bottom edge. So 180, I think it's an even 200. Yep, and then we're going to bring this up to like 120. There we go. So that's the easiest way I've found for walking gradients into the right spot. Okay, so that's our start. Now let's see what we have to change when we change this to an and selector. We're going to see a little duplication happening here. There we go. We're going to select the body with nesting now, and we're going to margin it by let's just start with 50. Let's see where we're at. Okay, good. At least we can see our definite the borders on the top. So it's gonna be something like 80. There we go. I think that's, yeah, 80. Gets us pretty close. And then it's gonna be like 20 on the side. So let's just make sure it expands. So we're gonna have to change. Okay, we're gonna have to change 2 things. The color stop on these 2, and we'll have to change the starting position for the gradient. It's off by, that amount. That 20 pixels. It looks like, this margin in is what's shifting them over. So I'll have to bring it back in by 20 pixels. I think what I have to figure out is where I want to put my variables. So I can write I want this to be one variable. Man, it always gets so verbose when you do it that way. Might be better just to write 2 inline variables right there, rather than doing a custom, like doing the W for white, and then just saying it's FFF, right? So this is our white color, and then we come down here and we say var W. Yeah, okay. No, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Var dash W. Okay, so we got those inline. So now in the body, if I change W, I can reassign this variable. Right now it's broken. I unassigned it. I need this light blue color, right? Okay, and we're closer to our position. Now what we need is we could wrap the whole gradient in a variable and then just do that variable. Oh, I'd have to say background var. How do you do that? I'm trying to remember. I saw someone else who records these do it, and I loved that solution because he was just changing the these things afterwards. He was writing, oh, he wrote the variable out that the background would be that variable, so he didn't have to rewrite the whole gradient, and then he put a comma, and then he did those things. I think what I'll do is I will actually do these inline here too, because to save myself writing out background again, and I think I still will be ahead of the curve. So I can say var dash dash d, and if I don't assign a value, it is broken. So let's yeah, no, that's a comma. Okay, so it just needs a comma. I don't actually have to assign a value here. And then if we reassign it down here, negative 20 pixels. Hey, we're starting to look good here. Okay, it's too wide, so let's give this margin a 30, and then we will do a negative 10, negative 30. There we go. Okay, so we have all of that going, and we can just throw a right bar on top, right? Wrong. With this, we needed the darker bar here. So we need one more variable, right? And that is our second one. So this is going to be var. What are we calling this? Light blue? We'll just say B. Comma, close it up. Yeah, lots of variables here. I don't know if this is feeling excessive. And we're going to the slightly darker blue. Okay, better, much better. And then we look at that, we're just throw a white box. Okay, now we can throw the white box on top. Let's give ourselves a p tag. And this p tag, because I use star selectors, there's no way to, but we're just changing the background. We'll change the margin, and I think that's all. I don't think we even need a position fix because it's still inside the body. So background is going to be FFF, and margin 0. Where are you? So background, we overwrote, and margin. That's all we're using, background and margin. That's it. This is our body right here. So the p tag should, do we need to give it a height? Yeah, that's why it doesn't have any height. Okay, so do I want height or padding? I think I can just use height because oh, it's going to stretch full width, but we're going to put margin on it anyway. So let's just give it the height it needs. It's going to be more like 50. There we go. Let's give it some margin. There we go. Well, margin top isn't working because of collapsing margins on the body. Stinking. All right, let's use padding then. There we go. And that didn't fix it because I got to put padding on the body. You silly Billy. All right. I don't know why I called it a silly Billy. You didn't hear me say that. I didn't say that. All right. So our options are putting translate. Does that work? Does translate on its own work? No. Yeah, I think you have to have a transform for translate still. Why is it linting like that? Oh, I see why. Yeah, I should just put padding on the body. Well, let's see if this works, actually. Let's see if this will actually overcome. Okay. I'll do Y so I don't have to do a, no, oh yeah, it does, it does. Okay. So it does, in fact, 5? Oh. Overcome the margin collapse, but now I have to put a margin on it to bring in the sides. Why do I need to bring in the sides? Why isn't it stretching full width? Because I'm not overriding the margin, and the margin of 30 is being applied. Fun. Okay, so this is a ridiculous number of characters to overcome writing padding here. Not doing padding here. Let's do a height of 50 and a margin. Oh, I have to put a value there. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is really bad because it throws everything off. Okay, well, you know what our other solution is? So that we don't have to fight with any of this or as much of this. Let's just go position fixed. Position. Position. And let's size it 25 by 50. Ooh, 100. 150. Oh, no. 30? 125. Let's just go for that. And let's margin 30. There we go. Better. Stinking margin collapse. Why'd they make it that way? I mean, I know why. Seemed like a good idea at the time, but it seems like most of the time when I'm just building things, I rarely have to worry about margin collapse like that being an issue. Like I always have. There's always something where it's kind of a non-issue, you know. But that's the second time here where I try not to use position fixed, but that margin collapse stops me from moving things around. What other ways other than translate and margin are good ways to move an element that's not position fixed? Because I can't use top or inset or anything like that without a position. So what would work? All right, let's clean up a couple of these things here. We can tighten this. Don't need a space when there's parentheses there. It's a nice limiter that you have. That does need a space. 234. What are you going to do? Probably just doing a straight box instead of this whole gradient variable nonsense would be better, but it was kind of a fun way to go. I liked it. Sometimes I like keeping track of those multiple pieces. Sometimes I don't. Tonight was one of those nights, I guess. All right. It's nice being back here doing CSS battles again. Camping was fun, but good to be home. Of course, it ended when my daughter kind of fell against the fire pit, which was a little terrifying, but she's okay. But she has this really cool like burn across her eye. The eye's fine, but she's got this mark, and she looks awesome. You know, like a Zuko scar right there. But it was scary, but she's fine, so it's okay. Just normal kids falling and getting hurt kind of thing. But gonna be a little bit more diligent around the fire from now on. I tell you that for free. Yeah. All right. Have a good evening.